I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, May the 15th, brought to you in part by VITALIX Corporation. Ever since 1967, VITALIX has provided excellence in animal health, including but not limited to All-American ID tags for all classes of livestock. For more information, go to y-tex.com. I told you so. I don't say that very often, and I'm not a good projector of what's going to happen. I can't tell you what the market's going to do like your stockbroker can do. I can't tell you what the weather's going to do for the next 6 months like CattleFax can, but once in a while I'll mention what I think is going to happen, and sometimes it comes true, probably less often than it doesn't. But I told you that $10 basis was too much on our last visit, and we had over a $10 basis actually from June live cattle futures to what our weighted average was for last week's negotiated fat cattle trade on a live basis. $10 is too much when you're midway through the month before you get into that spot month. Well, on Tuesday it come up quite a bit, over $2.50, so narrowed that quite a bit. Of course, your feeder cattle contracts were up sharply. Man, did we really gain a bunch of ground on those. Got those back where they are to a premium of what our cash index levels are for feeders, 800-pound feeders. But a big banner day on the board was Tuesday, and so we're glad of that. We needed to catch up once in a while instead of dragging on us all the time. And of course, your auction markets, and Tuesday is one of our days that we don't have as big of a cash feeder and calf market test as we do some of the other days. Now, we have some big sales on Tuesday that we like to call out, and we always do, but Mondays and Wednesdays seems like our big auction days. But please send your commissions, those of you that went ahead and went long as soon as the board went opened on June live cattle and made that money. Please send a nice fat commission to me, and I'm just going to do it on the honor system, guys. You can get my contact information through DVAuction, and I will take cash or check, no crypto, please. But what did we see that happened fundamentally on Tuesday? We saw our box beef values go up big time, just like they did on Monday. But doing it again on Tuesday, even bigger. That's significant. And I kind of been told you, I've been waiting for these wholesale buyers and your end users and some of those to be hand to mouth, because the levels are pretty high, especially at the retail level. And they weren't going to stock up on this beef until they saw significant buying for these graduations, for Memorial Day holiday and all those. Well, they're wanting to stock the shelves right now, and so they've come in and buy, and packers are making them pay for it. They're getting those prices up there pretty good, and that hand to mouth buying there sparked box beef cutout values, and I mean, choice just blew by $3. Didn't even see it standing there. Just went right on by it, sitting up there way over $3.04 now. So we're hoping that they can keep that up there over $3. We're not necessarily wanting consumers to have to pay more. They've been paying more all along. The retail prices have been high, but somebody in the middle there needs to whittle down what they're making, but we've got to keep that box beef up there so we have a little more room to make this fat cattle market go up some more. But do I think the fat cattle market is going to zoom up there to $2 a pound? No, I do not. And why is that? Because we don't have enough negotiation. I want you to look at this little chart here. USDA Market News just come out with your purchase type breakdown for the first quarter, and you see why we can't get big prices in our fat cattle. We don't sell enough negotiated. You have to have negotiation to get higher prices. When you've got mostly all formula trade that's just hanging on the coattails of the negotiated and never brings about a higher price, that's why you can't get anything. That's why we can't have anything nice is because we don't have enough people that want to participate in the negotiation. If everybody was selling their calves and feeder cattle in the country, what would they base the price off of? We've got to have people that'll bring them into the sale barns so we can have a negotiated price to set the rest of the trade. And we just don't have enough of that in the fat cattle arena. But nationwide, in the first quarter, negotiated sales, this is fat steers and heifers, was only 18.1%, with formula sales 65.6%. In the 5-area feeding region, 17.2% was all the negotiation we did on all the fat steers and heifers that sold. Formula trading was almost 70% of the trade. And then you look at Texas, which they've proven that the Texas cash sales make more difference in the market than in any of the other 5, even though we don't sell that many. But now it's getting where we hardly sell any at all. Negotiated sales in Texas in the first quarter, fat steers and heifers out of your feedlots, was only 5.9% of the total sales, with formula sales hanging on those coattails of 5.9%, almost 88%. I've told you guys 100 times, that's the tail wagging the dog, guys. And that's why we can't gain any ground in our fat cattle market, because we don't have enough negotiation. And we've got to continue to have negotiating in our feeder cattle and our calves, guys. Support your local sale barns. Support your regional sale barns. Put your cattle up for bids. Let's see who wants them the worst. You think we'd be getting these prices on these calves, these 5-weight calves bringing over $350? I mean, these 8-weight feeders, bringing up $260 in spots. You think that we'd get that just offering them up in the country or trying to sell them direct to some feedlot? You got to have competition to get those prices. And when we don't have negotiating competition at the top of our cattle cycle, that keeps everything else stunted, guys. And I'm preaching to the choir. A lot of you guys that are listening, and I can't do anything about it. Some of you guys, your feedlot guys, you would like to do something about it. You don't get any support. A lot of you guys that are feeding or maintaining the possession of your cattle, but letting somebody else feed them for you. You can't find a feedlot that will sell them negotiated because they don't want to have to do it. They will tell you that it's negotiated, but it's really not negotiated. It's negotiated grid or something like that, which is really no negotiation. That's what's wrong with this industry. I'll continue to preach it until we go by the way of the hogs, guys. Is if we don't have negotiating competition in our fat cattle arena, we're doomed. Let's talk about the board. June live cattle futures up $2.60 at 178.17. August up $2.72 at 176.12. Your back months on live cattle up $1.60 to up $2.52. Feeder cattle for May up $3.90 at 243.27. August was up $4.32 at 255.67, and your back months were all up big from 357 to up 440. Big gains on Tuesday, guys. Nice to see. Let's see if we can hold on to it. How about July corn up 1/4 cent a bushel at 467 3/4. Soybeans for July up 3/4 cent a bushel at 12.15 1/4. Kansas City was unchanged at 683 1/4. Fat cattle trade, of course, we hadn't seen any negotiation yet. It's only been up through Monday and Tuesday, which that's not abnormal, but no more negotiated trade than we see. It's all going to be on Thursday afternoon or Friday. We know that. But we do have negotiated bidding and competition in a fat cattle auction, brick and mortar sale barn, Yankton, South Dakota, at Stockman's Livestock Market every Tuesday, guys. 1,400 in overnight, 1,800 in for the fat cattle auction there. Conventional fat cattle, just your straight up fat steers and heifers, sold 50 cents to $1 lower at 181 to 187. Program cattle, your non-implanted or drug-free cattle, sold from 186 to 190, 150. The 190, 150 in particular was on 40 black heifers be mostly prime. They weighed 1533 standing in the ring, guys, but pretty good market there. Box beef cutout values, I told you how much higher they were. Choice cuts were up 544 at 304.39. Selects up 664 at 293.82. Your slaughter starting to fall behind 239,000 through the first 2 days of the week. That's 5,000 less than last week at this point, and it's 13,000 less than the same point this week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Elite livestock sales. Now those are my buddies that used to be at Montgomery Stockyards down there in Alabama. Daryl Stokes, Jerry Etheridge, Wesley Grantham, Chuck Bradley, the whole gang. They're all good guys. And if you want to have a good time, hang out with them, go to one of their sales. They're having the Grass Time 2 special. It's going to be at their headquarters in Hope Hull, Alabama, which is real close to Montgomery there. That's where their offices are at. And they have their home base sales there. But a lot of times they'll go in other directions and have them on site. But they got a big sale coming up this Thursday. 55 loads. Got 3 or 4 loads of calves, but it's mostly all ryegrass yearlings, guys. Especially you guys, you farmer feeders, if you're out of cattle, if you've cleaned out a pen there and you need some more, don't feed fat calves. When you can go down there, you can get online, you can buy some green grass yearlings off of those guys down there in the southeast. They may not have a lot of hair on them. You're not going to need hair for the next 150, 200 days, guys. And those cattle will absolutely do it all. This Thursday, May the 16th, the sale starts at 3 o'clock Central. Go onto their website and get their contact information at elitelivestocksales.com. Call Daryl Stokes. Tell him you want to be approved to bid online. When the sale starts and you watch those yearlings start selling, you can get on there and bid, buy those yearlings. They'll deliver them right to you. And I tell you what, just a great bunch of guys to do business with at Elite Livestock Sales. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Tuesday, sitting at 242.37. That was down 23 cents from the end of Monday's sales. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index sitting at 241.75. Talk about your big sales on Tuesday. How about Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri? DVAuction broadcaster. They had 2,700 through the ring, another 930 with their in-house video that they have every week with Steve Anderson. He does it with help from DVAuction. And man, does he do a good job with them. And they have, like I say, in-house video sale every single week. But the market through the ring, mostly calves, $3 to $6 lower. And my buddy there that I used to work with, he does a good job reporting the market there. And Dan Hill said there was just an average offering there, a lot of small lots. Quality wasn't the greatest, and they had a lot of unweaned calves, which is going to hurt your market there and cause it to be a little lower. But they had a whiz-bang sale last week when everybody else was lower. Let's talk about another sale. How about Rezac Livestock Commission, St. Mary's, Kansas. Look at all these loads of yearling feeder steers weighing from 8.5 to 1,000 pounds. They sell from $225.85 up to $240 right there at Denny Rezac Livestock Commission, St. Mary's, Kansas. Another DVAuction broadcaster, guys. How about Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma? I always talk about Jeff Slatton and my friends there at Beaver County Stockyards. They had a lot of big cattle, and I told you they were going to have them when I was talking about their sale on our last visit. They had 11 potloads of 10-weight steers. 11 potloads of them, guys. Those loads averaged 1060 pounds at 209.75. Big time quote there. They had 3 loads of steers weighed in the 11s, and they bring over 206.50. Good market there at Beaver County Stockyards. How about an individual quote from Philip the Giant, Philip Livestock Auction, Philip, South Dakota. 89 steers weighed 496 at 371.50. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Lolly Brothers Livestock Market in Macon, Missouri. Another DV auction broadcaster there, have been forever. 76 steers, or no, they were heifers. They just sold at a steer price. 76 heifers, weighed 674 and bring 278.50. Wow, that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.